Hi guys, welcome to the Market Code Breakers. My name is Leon, where I break down one asset for you every single day, giving you the key areas and levels to pay attention to going into tomorrow's session. And we've just had the FOMC day. The market has just closed now, and it's been a crazy day, an absolutely crazy day. I'm a futures trader. I'm funded with Top Step. I've not had a good time today, I'll be honest. I've not had a good time trading the Nasdaq, but I never have a good time trading the all-time high. Was expecting to get some sort of retrace into a range. That never happened. It just kept climbing and climbing. So yeah, never try and pick highs. I wasn't trying to pick highs. You know, it did fit with my system. It did fit with these ranges, but we just never got that. It never gave it to me, and it's purely because obviously economically lots of things is going on right now, and sometimes when it gets like that, a lot of the technicals get thrown out of the window when it's all down to fundamentals. Today, I think it was more like a case of just buy and hold and hope for the best. But that's not financial advice. Never, ever, ever do your trading like that. But, you know, there's no other ways to describe days like this because it's just crazy. So, yeah, yesterday, what did I speak about yesterday? I spoke about the Nasdaq, didn't I? So let me break down the Nasdaq for you and let's get into that. So this is oil. So this is oil. I want to go back into oil and give you some key areas for tomorrow. I might even do a little bit of gold as well. But let's just go onto the Nasdaq and talk about what I talked about yesterday. So where are we at? Where was we on the Nasdaq? Was we down here? No, we was up here, weren't we? Did I show you on this other chart? I must have showed you on this other chart. Yeah. So in yesterday's video, guys, we was in this region and the market opened here. Or was it here? The market opened somewhere. Yeah, the market opened around here. It was around in this region. And I said to you, this range might become very important in tomorrow's session. We could get a reaction from the lows that could send it up. But we could get it bouncing around inside of this range. Now, we did, react from the midpoint and send it up. So that was the first reaction that we got. We got that reaction here at this point. We got a little bit of trickiness around it, but nonetheless, we got that reaction. And then I said to you, if they want to move prices higher, what they will do is they'll move it away, they will retrace to it, and then they will continue to move up. And again, that's what we got in this region. Now, I was asleep during the London session, so I didn't get to see any of this. So I didn't get to take that trade. And I wish I did get to take that trade, man, because it was clear as day in the London session what they was going to do. They're done with this blue range and they wanted to move higher prices. So what they do in them instances is they will move into the closest range. They will react from the midpoint as they've done here. They will break above it. They will retest it from above and then they will shift out. And that's exactly what they did. But if you was trading the Asia session, you would have got into this long here and you would have been able to ride up to the midpoint. I did take that long. I did well on that long. But in this region, then I was a little bit unsure. You know, should I be taking the short? Should I be waiting for it to break free, retrace to it, and continue up? A little bit unclear of what I was supposed to be doing in that region. But nonetheless, exactly what I said they would do, they did. So again, you would say 4 for 4. Everything that I've said this week has played out. Has give you some perfect trade opportunities. And they would have been the trades of the day. I think every day this week I have given you the trade of the day on the different assets that I spoke about. Monday it was the Nasdaq. Tuesday it was oil. Wednesday it was S&P. Yesterday again we went back to the Nasdaq and it did exactly what I said it would do. I did think it'd probably play this range a little bit more than it did do. But still, nonetheless, I did talk about it. Reacting from this midpoint, breaking above, reacting from the highs and then shifting out. And that's exactly what we got. So great week for the analysis and the setups that I provided to you guys. I'm not providing these as setups. I'm just providing you with scenarios that might happen. And if they come into play, then you're well informed about them and you can make the relevant decisions according to what you're seeing on the charts in front of you. But it's key that you have these ranges marked off, guys. I'm giving you the information that the banks and institutions are using. So it's vital that you pay attention to what their intentions are. Once you understand the levels and the ranges that they work with, it's quite easy to decode what they're trying to do, but decoding it and actioning it is two different things. You know, I can tell you beforehand what I expect to happen. It can see it happen, but then when I'm watching it, I might not even be able to act on it because the price action can confuse even me when I'm watching it live. But nevertheless, these ranges and these levels are what the banks are using, and these are what you need to vitally pay attention to. So, with all that being said, guys, I wanted to quickly break down some more oil for you, because again, we've got another reaction from the midpoint of this much bigger range. Now, this is the third day, so we've had Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days in a row. We've had a reaction from that point, which would have provided you with a great short opportunity, which you would have been well aware of based on what I've been telling you. But oil, now we have this red range coming into play. Now, when I'm a Nasdaq trader, right? So I understand how they work the Nasdaq with relation to these ranges. These ranges work on every asset. They don't act no differently. So based on what I understand of how they work them in the Nasdaq, I'm going to assume that anything below this point at any point would be swing trade opportunities. And then once price actually finalizes and breaks through this range, it's going to rip it to rip it up into higher ranges, into this area up here. But until it does that, we don't need to talk about these higher ranges. So potentially what I'm expecting to see going into Asia, going into tomorrow's session, is if they want to move up tomorrow and they want to, finally break free from this range, which they've been playing all week, then, potential points of reactions are the bottom of this range, the highs of this range. You want to be marking off as 73.32 down to 71.80. Use your Fibonacci tool. Make sure you've got it selected 0, 0.5 and 1. Extend lines right, and then highlight the background of it. That's the range that I want you to mark off for oil. Those of you that haven't done that already, and pay attention to that. But other key areas that price might want to react from before it does that. We'll do this a purple range. I want you to mark off this range from 71.64 to 70.74, again with the midpoint. I don't expect it to break down into these ranges, but if it does, I'm going to give you this other range as well, this green range here, 71.70 and 71.28, the 71.70 being the high, 71.28 being the low, then if it does break down into this region, then those are the two ranges that it might start to work. So you potentially might start to see a little bit of a choppy behavior that doesn't make any sense, but it'll make perfect sense if you have these ranges on your charts. So you might get this type of behavior from back to the green, back to the purple, down to this green, back up to this green, down to this purple. This is the way that it can work, but it'll give you all the potential spots where you might see a reaction. So if you're in the mood for scalping and it gets to one of these points in the charts, pay close attention to, because that might be a signal to get out of the trade. But yeah, if you work with those two ranges, the green one and the purple one, and then obviously there's a much bigger range. Now, what I'm kind of expecting to see really is it to, in the Asia session, maybe it goes back up to the midpoint and it rushes down to the lows and then it shifts out. But before it rushes to the lows, it might react from the top of this green range or the top of this purple range, and then it might make the move. So it could just do that on open, or it could do that actually well into the session. So you might just get the open breaking down to this top of this purple range here and then shifting out and completely clearing this red range. And I do expect the red range to be cleared, but be cautious with it, guys, because if it breaks down into these regions and it starts to do some chop, I've give you the key points for you to pay attention to. But if it starts to react at this red range, and starts to make its way up, you'd be looking at taking profits at the midpoint if you want to, and that, because we might get another reaction at that midpoint like we have done all week, but again we might not. It could be the day where it just rips right through it. So just pay attention to these points on the charts, guys. These are going to be very important going into tomorrow for oil. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys have had a good day trading today. FOMC has been, the Nasdaq has been, there's nothing for me to work with on the Nasdaq up at the highs. It's just been absolutely mental. But it's been a great week for the levels, great week for the setups. A week where fundamentals, especially on the Nasdaq, might have played more of an important role based on, what was happening with the election and whatnot, and there's a lot of hype. A lot of people are putting the money to work right now because of the election and whatnot. So fundamentals have played a bit of a key role. But saying that, when it comes to the FOMC, we didn't really get much information, so we don't really know what we're working with. So again, I don't really know how much of it was fundamentals and how much it was just hype over the election. I think just the election hype had a lot to do with it, which you may consider as something to do with fundamentals. Maybe you don't. But yeah, for me, I'm all technicals. I'm all about the levels. I'm all about the ranges. I tried not to pay too much attention to the fundamentals, but when it's an election and it's FOMC, you can't do nothing but pay attention to them. So yeah, those are the key areas I want you to take forward for tomorrow going into oil, guys. Mark them off on your charts. And then I'll be back on Sunday night to give you a breakdown of what's happened during the week and to give you some key levels to take forward going into next week. If there's any particular asset you want me to look at on the futures market, so like the Nasdaq, the S&P, oil, gold, them are the only ones really that I pay attention to. But if there's any others that you want me to give you some key areas to pay attention to, give me a comment and let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, guys, and it's provided you with any information that's helped you during this week, if you go back and look at the previous videos and the information that I have provided already and how it could have benefited you, then please subscribe to the channel. Share this information with some of your friends. You know, anybody that you know who's into trading, this will benefit everybody. So get them involved in the channel, guys. And yeah, I wish you all the best with your trading going into tomorrow and to next week, and I will see you all on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.